It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life will inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change your attitude, change your life. And now, here's your host, Joan Herman.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life brings you interviews with some of the most inspirational and influential people in the world. It's our goal to educate and empower you so you can live your best life now. Thank you for taking time for yourself, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life. We have another great show for you today. Do you wish you could gain control of bad habits or turn back the clock in order to eliminate damage that you've done to your health? According to today's guest, Dr. Michael Roizen, nobody is too old, too out of shape, or too unhealthy to start their do-over. He's here today to discuss how we can reverse mistakes, optimize health, and live a life filled with energy and joy. Dr. Roizen is a #1 New York Times bestselling author and co-founder and originator of RealAge.com. He is Chief Wellness Officer and Chair of the Wellness Institute of the Cleveland Clinic and Chief Medical Consultant to the Dr. Oz Show. He's the author of the book, This Is Your Do-Over, 7 Secrets to Losing Weight, Living Longer, and Getting a Second Chance at the Life You Want. Welcome, Dr. Roizen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Joan, it's my privilege. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, Doctor, I love that you were giving me and so many others like me a do-over because I need it. So when we get to middle age and we look back and think, what have I done to myself? And sometimes it's scary because it's so easy to think that the damage done is forever and we must live with it for the rest of our lives. But what we're about to discuss is so exciting because it offers hope for us for moving forward, but it also offers the possibility that we can correct a few things. So you're a leader in helping people turn their health around. What can the average person expect from following your plan?
Well, it depends where the typical person is when they start. But basically, what you do is you get to reverse or stop or at least prevent the development of chronic diseases that would likely come later if you continued behaviors. Let me give you a specific example. So we know that prediabetes is present in probably a little over 60% of the population of China, probably 30 to 40% in most Mideastern countries, and probably 30% in the United States. But whether you develop diabetes, that is the outright case of it, is really your choice. And we know that just doing some of the simple things, such as walking 10,000 steps a day, which breaks down the cause of type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance. We know that avoiding tobacco, or in fact getting off of tobacco, is possible for probably 90-some% of people on tobacco. And we know from some really, really good data that you can actually pull plaque out of your coronary arteries or even out of your arteries going elsewhere to reverse atherosclerosis. So what we know for sure is that you can get a do-over. We don't know for sure whether that's 60% can prevent it and reverse atherosclerosis or whether it's 98%. But we know that it's at least the majority of people can get a do-over, feel more energy, look younger, and have more vigor and enjoyment of life.
Regarding nutrition, you say that there are 5 food felons that we must avoid. What are they, and how can we tell if they're in our food products?
Well, the 5 food felons are simple sugars, that is added sugar, simple syrups, and honey and maple syrup, much as they taste great, are simple syrups, and as is high fructose corn syrup, and then simple or what we call stripped carbohydrates that aren't whole grain. The 4th is trans fat, which I guess by 2018 will be banned by the United States, as it is by Canada already. And the 5th is foods with saturated fat. And we've learned an awful lot about why foods with saturated fat are bad. It is the red meat and egg yolks aren't bad because of the cholesterol effects. and you look at our writing, it never has been. We've never known really why they're bad, but they're bad because they cause inflammation. They change the bacteria inside your gut to cause you inflammation. The tropical oils, palm oil and coconut oil, are bad because they break down the blood-brain barrier and cause or allow inflammation in your brain, which is one of the causes of dementia and the leading cause of dementia. So that's the reason why foods with saturated fat, foods that have trans fat, and then the added sugars, added syrups, and simple carbs. Now, it's not easy. It's the toughest thing. So we have people who we coach daily, and it usually takes about 3 months. And it's not because they're not bright. It's because it is tough the way food companies have it on packages. But basically what you see is if you see one of those 5 things in the first 5 ingredients on the label, you avoid it. That is, if it says anything with a word ose in it, dextrose, glucose, sucrose, maltose, etc., if you see the word ose, that's probably a simple sugar. Now, they hide it. So they have expeller-pressed rice cane extract. Well, that is sugar, but it's hidden in a funny way, if you will. So what you want to do is also look on the label and see the amount of sugars per serving. And if it's over 4 grams per serving, then you've got to be very careful in that sugar. Similarly, look on the label, it'll say saturated fat, and if it's over 4 grams per serving, that's something to definitely avoid.
Dr. Roizen, you mentioned the importance of quitting smoking. One of your strategies is to quit an addiction and form a habit. In addition to smoking, what are some other addictions that we need to quit and form better habits for?
There are addictions to sugared beverages. There are addictions to donuts. There are addictions to hard drugs. There are addictions to sex. And the key point is the one you brought up. That is, you need to form another habit. Our brains want to be busy. And so in order to be busy, they like patterns. So when you learn to play chopsticks, the first time you played it, it was tough. But by the 20th time you played it, the neighbor was sick of it, and you had it automatic. You got it because you had formed a pathway in your brain. Well, that's similar with addictions. You may go get in a car and you light up a cigarette. You get out of a car, you light up a cigarette. But it's a pattern that you've developed. And in order to break that habit, you've got to get another pattern because your brain wants to be busy. Going cold turkey is extremely difficult and very rarely successful. So people who go cold turkey on cigarette cessation, it's a 2% success rate. Even using a nicotine patch, it's only 5%. Patch and pill, it's about 10%. Patch, pill, and another habit, 20%. Patch, pill, another habit, and a buddy gets you over 30%. And so one of those keys is having a buddy to rely on and to help you understand what it is that caused you to go for that cigarette again and to help you get an alternative to it, a different habit. So the buddy isn't just keeping you accountable. They do that a little bit, but what they really do is they teach and help you figure out why you're doing something.
Dr. Roizen, let's talk about stress for a moment because we are one stressed out society and it is wreaking havoc on our health. And you say that it's very important for us to resolve the cause of the stress instead of just trying to manage it. Why do you think that that is something that so many of us are missing the point on doing?
Well, let me go and basically say the initial stress response was perfect for us evolutionarily. That is, we developed the stress response to mobilize muscles, to mobilize sugar, and to get enough energy and attention to be able to punch whoever was attacking us in the cave or to run the heck away from them. And that was a perfect response. But now the stress response doesn't help you very much. So the usual stressors is not a wild mammoth or a woolly mammoth coming and attacking you, but is, in fact, an everyday event or an everyday circumstance that you've got to, if you will, try and avoid. And a lot of times, managing it isn't enough because it's recurrent. They're unfinished tasks that are, if you will, a burden to us. So you, Joan, have done a great job, and your listeners should know you really read the books because your questions obviously imply that you read the book. So my guess is that if you haven't finished reading the book by the time you do an interview, it's a nagging fact for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would nag on you. So and would be a stress. Those nagging unfinished tasks, or what we call nuts, are just as big a stress as is being sued or having to take a move or having a new job, etc. And those are major stresses. So the stress we have in nagging unfinished tasks, it isn't just managing it, it's finish it and get done with it, and then you get rid of the stress.
Doctor, before we run out of time, I want to touch upon the last two strategies that you offer. And these are the importance of intimate relationships and finding our passion in life. And it sounds like they would be self-explanatory why they're so important to us. But what is the science behind these two areas?
The key in these areas is to find something you love doing so that you're revved and excited and enjoy life. And we don't know why giving back and why, if you will, being a buddy to others is so good for your health, but it is. And we don't know whether it is just that it helps you manage or your brain manage all those daily events that would otherwise be stressful because you're feeling good about something. But giving back, saying thank you, finding a passion, all of those things are what drive us to higher performance, but they're also what drive us to better health. And it may be, and we've always thought it was, well, maybe it's just because you're doing other healthy things because you're so enthused with life. But even when you factor out all the other factors we know about, such as you're treating your high blood pressure, you're doing walking, you're eating a healthy diet, etc., when you factor all those other things we know about, finding a passion in life seems to be an extra benefit, and it's a really big benefit on how long and well you live and how well you're able to reverse or prevent disease.
The book is This Is Your Do-Over, 7 Secrets to Losing Weight, Living Longer, and Getting a Second Chance at the Life You Want by Dr. Michael Roizen. Dr. Roizen, thank you so much for being here with us today. As I joked in the beginning, it is definitely time for me to get a do-over, and I hope that our listeners will heed your advice and join me in taking back our health. So thank you so much for being here.
Joan, thank you. It's a privilege meeting you. Thank you, Joan.
We'll be right back. Hi, this is Joan Herman, host of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Did you know that Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life has a free monthly digital magazine that can be read online or emailed to your inbox? Every month, nationally recognized leaders in their field provide information to educate, inspire, and motivate you. We believe in a holistic approach to life, incorporating mind, body, and spirit. Check out a copy of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life 24/7. Visit cyacyl.com and be sure to tell your friends. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found the show informative. At Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life, we believe that knowledge is power. Take what you've learned, apply it, and live your best life now. Remember that the information provided are the opinions of our guests and should never replace the advice of a professional who knows your personal situation. If you'd like more information, visit our website, cyacyl.com. That stands for Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. While on the site, listen to past shows on demand, read the digital magazine, and be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, this is Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.